YouTube, what is going on? My name is Stoner Sparky, and I don't normally make videos like this. And by videos like this, I mean long form videos. I'm more of a what you call a shorts creator, just because it's convenient for my lifestyle in my current time in my life where I'm very busy as a full time, worker and a man with a wife. Gaming is just kind of secondary for me now, unfortunately. But one day, hopefully I can make it primary. But anyways, let me skip all the bullshit and get to the chase. Skate, EA Skate, also known as SKATE, period. Not Skate 4, Skate, period, as they so market it. I just wanted to make a little video today and touch on, basically the game, how it plays, how it feels, its current state, and what I think about it and my current thoughts as someone who played Skates 1, 2, and 3. And I've been skateboarding for 20 years. It's part of my DNA. It's in my culture. I love to skateboard. It's the main thing I do. And let me tell you, I've been waiting for this game for a long time. Like long, long time. And it's finally here. Well, technically, it's not here for everybody, but the people who have early access. But it's going to be finally here for everybody tomorrow. And that's why I'm making this video, because I just basically want to touch on my thoughts and give you guys kind of, the ones who haven't played the game and maybe haven't been keeping up with content creators or videos and their thoughts, because I know there's a lot of it floating out there, but I wanted to just give my 2 cents as someone who's been a skateboarder of 20 years and a skate enjoyer for all of the series with thousands of hours on each of the games. I just want to give you the rundown. So basically, it's free to play game, okay? It comes out tomorrow, so there's no reason not to play it, okay? And you see all these comments online, oh, Skate has lost its soul. It's too colorful. Where's the grittiness? Where's the grunge? All this stuff. And I get it. Look, I'm on your side. Like I wish they would have that stuff in the game, but this is where the game's at. And all I'm saying is just play it. Just play it, try it out, and then you can really give your honest opinion on whether the game itself is fun, not how it looks, just the game itself, because that's what honestly Skate is 90% about for me as a skateboarder in real life. I like to just have the feeling of skating, it emulates such a good like feel of skateboarding with this, with the stick controls. It gives you like a really good like kind of a skill base kind of to go off of when you do tricks and stuff. It emulates skateboarding to an extent. Obviously it's not fucking Session or Skater XL, but it does the job. And for someone like me, I love skateboarding. It gives me that like, it cures that itch when I can't skate outside and go skating. It cures the itch to skateboard, and that's how I fell in love with the game, basically. And the core gameplay is awesome. It's really fun. It's just like any other skate game you've played as far as the core gameplay mechanics. Now, with that being said, it's not exactly like Skate 3 because there's a lot of stuff missing from it. Dark slides, grabs while you grind. There's probably a couple more things in there that I can't think of right now on the top of my head that I'm sure some of you might know. But there's stuff that's missing. There's not really like, you can't really get sponsored. There's not like, traditional kind of like skate missions where you do stuff for different sponsors or to get sponsors, which, I'm hoping they add further in the game. That would be awesome. But for right now, it's basically just you're doing missions and you just get points. You use the points to buy product boxes, which are literally just another name for loot boxes. And there's a pool of items that you can get, and it's random. And that's probably my least favorite part about the game right now, as far as like how the progression goes is like getting clothing. It's like literally they just emulated a gambling like mechanic that they put in the game, which I think is pretty fucked up because there's going to be a lot of kids playing this game, like a lot of younger kids, and I feel like having those kind of systems in a game like this, it can promote gambling. It teaches it early on in their brain. It tricks their brain to think like this is how I get shit when it shouldn't be. And it might also push people to want to buy stuff more, which is kind of lame to me. I honestly, like, I think you should just get the points, whatever, from doing missions, and just pick what you want and buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that so hard? Like, just how about make it to where you can get the items in the product box in whatever order you want. You just work for the points. Even if you got a purple item that's 350, whatever the currency is. I don't remember the name of it right now off the top of my head. Or you could buy something that's 100 of the currency. Like, make it like that. But right as of right now, they might just keep this just because it's their way of thinking. They're gonna incentivize people to buy more stuff. So there's that. And then let me see some of the stuff that I'd want to talk about as far as the bugs go in the game. There's quite a few like bugs or glitches, and some of them are funny, some of them are goofy, but there's a lot of them that are not that fun to deal with because, well, they make you force restart your game. That's how game breaking some of these bugs are. And I've experienced them several times, the same bugs repeated. And some of them include party bugs, like as far as like the party system goes, where I'll have a homie that I invite and we want to skate together, and then I try to get him in, but he doesn't see my character, but I can see him. And then there's ones where basically it won't join the instance because the instance is full, but there's no way to join another instance, so you have to restart the game. That's kind of goofy to me. They should probably fix that and find a workaround for that in their UI system. I feel like that would help. And there's also ones where there's like missions that you need to complete, but you can't complete them because one of the goals that you have to do is not registering when you do it. Like, for example, there's this one mission that you do where you have to like hippie jump and then you have to power slide. I remember one time it didn't count the hippie jump for me or my buddy when we were doing the co-op. And then another time I did it by myself. It wasn't counting the power slide. And then I'm doing this mission over and over again until it registers. And I'm trying to grind and get my my currency as quick as I can to get my swag up. But then there's bugs like that slowing me down, which makes you wonder, are they going to keep those bugs in there, or put those at the bottom of the priority list? Because then it might just nudge you to buy some shit in their store with real money, and I hope that's not the case. But the store hasn't had any glitches. Buying anything from the store with real world money doesn't seem to bug out at all, last I've checked. So there's shit like that. I feel like they need to really kind of shift their focus on. They need to, and the core gameplay needs to be the focus. The party system needs to be the focus, since this is an online only game that's focused around community, focused around playing with other players, skating with other skaters. That should be the core focus. And when you have those mechanics and UI systems that are glitchy and buggy all the time, and it's forcing people to restart their games, that kind of says something to me. And I just hope going into tomorrow that they make some kind of big hot fix the night before the release. And God forbid, I hope the servers can handle everything as well, because God knows we have it's been a trend with a lot of games with bigger companies, but obviously this game's doesn't have as big of a player base as let's say Call of Duty or Battlefield. So maybe we won't have server issues, but there's always the possibility that it's there, especially when it's free to play. You got a lot more people that can play it and have access to it, So let's hope, fingers crossed that they don't have any server issues tomorrow when everybody tries to get on and play, or that'd be tragic. One more thing I'd like to touch on is the replay system. That's another thing that was an issue for me when I played. I remember I got a sick clip. I go into the replay editor. I'm fast forwarding, rewinding, and all of a sudden, my character is stuck there. It's just sitting in one animation. I can hear the audio traveling back and forth, but nothing's going on my screen. All I see is my skater sitting there, just idle. That is a problem. Skate games have always had the replay editor. It's always been a core of the game. It should not be bugged. It should not have any issues. That should be refined in early access because it's, like I said, it's a core part of Skate. It's just sad to see that that's not. Thankfully for me, I'm a content creator. I have recording software, and I can also clip anything I need to on my PlayStation. So, I don't lose out on my clips, but some people might not have those same, you know, the access to those same kind of tools like I do and some other people. So if they get a sick trick, they might miss out. And actually, this happened to my buddy. We were doing a crazy transfer off of this parking garage drop over this church, and I put some ramps from the object dropper, which I'll talk about in a second. And he landed it before me, and he was stoked about it, but he couldn't even access his replay editor yet because it was glitched. So it's just kind of, I feel like it's stuff that should be fixed, like even in the earlier stages, like in early access. It shouldn't be a problem. The stuff that like I would expect to be bugs is just like little stuff, like UI stuff maybe on certain missions here and there, but it's like, I don't know, some stuff is just so simple and fundamental to the game that it shouldn't have never been a problem, but it is right now. But I'm gonna get away from the negative stuff, and I'll just I want to end on a positive note. It's still Skate. It's very fun, and I love the gameplay is awesome. I love what they've done with a lot of the mechanics that they've tweaked. There's a lot of customization as far as like how you want to skate and the realism of how you want to skate, and like whether you want it to be more difficult or more easy, which I appreciate because then that opens it up for every type of skater or gamer that wants to play and skate in their type of play style, which is awesome to me. I love that they added like slow motion flips is really cool, man. It adds like a extra steez to every trick that you can really like slow down the way you rotate a trick, which is really dope. I hope they add like they had on Skate 3 where there was like different styles, like you had different pushing styles, and then it went into like the way you did your tricks, the way you pushed, the way you ollied and did certain tricks, I liked it. And I hope that that's like a thing in the future, in the going forward on their roadmap. I hope that gets added. Also, I will say the object dropper is pretty sick. Like it's actually very dope. You can drop right now, which I hope they increase in the future and don't monetize it. You can drop 5 items at a time, and you unlock all kinds of different ramps, rails, all kinds of different stuff just from playing the game. It's all free, so I can appreciate that. And it just makes it a lot funner when you're in the city and you find like a sick spot and you're like, oh, dude, I wish I could put a quarter pipe right there so I could do a transfer on it and grind that scaffold. And then I could put another quarter pipe there and, go back in. That would be sick. And, sure enough, you can do that. I've done it. That's actually something I've done, speaking anecdotally. And I had like a whole session of people. Like, it's cool because you could just throw stuff down and, you could be skating either by yourself or with your homie. And then people will skate and they'll be skating by and they see you session with your objects that you dropped in. And then they'll join you. And it just turns into like a organic skate session. And that's like one thing I appreciate about this game and the way they kind of, they built it. Like, I love that it's like, it kind of turns into like a real skating experience in terms of like community and just like, just random people coming out of nowhere to skate with you. It's really a vibe, and I appreciate that. And, yeah, I think, I got high hopes for this game. I'm not gonna, obviously I pointed out a lot of negative, but it's only just because I want the devs to see this and fix it. I don't want it to stay bad. I don't want, and I don't want everyone going into the game hating it. And I know there's been a lot of hate on this game online already been on several videos, whether it's Skate EA themselves posting it or it's a content creator, and it's just like negative comment after negative comment. But I have noticed the more content I've watched more recently, people that have played it, their mind has changed, which is good because that, like I said, it's the core Skate experience that everyone knows and love, and like that's the addicting part about it. They just need to, there's some voids that need to be filled and some bugs that need to be squashed, and then it'll really become like more of a Skate game that we all want and love. But it's still fun right now and it's still playable. So if you love Skate, if you played Skate 3 or the older Skates, I promise you will love this game. It's absolutely free, so there's no reason not to try it, okay? I just wanted to give my thoughts as an OG Skate player and an OG IRL skateboarder. It's always, nothing will replace Skate for me. Skate will always be my go-to skateboarding game. Okay. So, and no disrespect to Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I grew up on those games, but Skate is the game for skateboarders, okay? For most skateboarders. Some people like Session if they like to sweat, or XL, Skater XL, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, if you're a skate player, you will like this game. I promise. You won't like everything about it, but you will enjoy the game, the core gameplay. And I just, those are my thoughts going forward. And I just want to give you guys a heads up, give you a little kind of preview of what you can expect as of tomorrow. Hopefully not the bug side. Hopefully they fix a lot of that, but that's pretty much my thoughts. And I just wanted to kind of put it out there, and fuck it, enjoy your guys' day. And if you want to see some skate content, I'm regularly posting more content every day. I also play a little bit of FPS games, but I'm shifting to this game because, like I said, I've been waiting a damn long time for this game to come out. So if you want to check out my content or my streams, they're on my channel. You can check them out. It's free. And, I plan to do some cool stuff. I do giveaways every 1,000 followers. And, I just want to have fun skating and build a cool community of people that also love to skate and play skate, So, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Deuces.